A massive $7 billion housing, retail, and business development is planned to be built near the TSMC microchip plant in Northwest Phoenix. It's called Halo Vista, and it's being described as a city within a city. Here to tell us more is Chris Mackey, Community and Economic Development Director for the City of Phoenix. Always good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
What is Halo Vista?
Halo Vista is a 3,500-acre development that's west of I-17 and north of the 303, up in kind of across from Deer Valley in North Phoenix.
Northwest corner, then?
Northwest corner.
And we're talking $7 billion development.
That's correct. That's correct. Surrounding TSMC's $65 billion development.
Yes. I got east, west, and north sides, kind of almost a horseshoe there. True?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Why you're calling it a city within a city? Why?
You know, when you look at Halo Vista, this was an area that is about 12,000 acres. So you think about that, it's nearly twice the size as Anthem, just in the sheer size of what's known as Biscuit Flats, which was a Pony Express outstation back in the 1800s. And it is truly going to be this city within a city, 12 million square feet of industrial, 3.5 million square feet of office flex space, and 500,000 square feet of retail, and then residential amongst it. You can live and work right there.
Does everything have to support that microchip facility?
It doesn't. So it really is a science and tech park, more of a standalone. We expect other primes that complement TSMC to come into the area. It isn't just about their supply chain, but that was the idea behind Halo Vista, but it doesn't absolutely have to support their supply chain. We expect a number of other large manufacturers to come into the area.
Yeah, but most of all, they'll be aligned with TSMC in some sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was the plan when we brought them here back in 2019.
Are there any restrictions whatsoever on non-tech businesses?
There really aren't, because there are a lot of non-tech businesses that support tech businesses. So when you think about architecture or engineering or design firms, they're really more about a service-related sector than they are others. There could also be companies that are sheerly office or others that are there. There aren't restrictions on what type of companies can go in there.
What type of housing is forecast?
Most of the housing that's forecast in the area will be for-rent multifamily, but there are also some plans for some for-rent condos and townhouses, that type of thing.
And now, are there restrictions, not the kind of restrictions in the past, but I mean restrictions in terms of the type of structure being built? Does there have to be a certain amount of rentals, a certain amount of for sale, and these sorts of things?
So when you look at the area that's north of the 303, there won't be any for-sale residential. The for-sale residential is planned to be south of the 303 in an area that's still state land and will come out later. The multifamily that's planned to be there is much more of transitional housing. When you think about a workforce coming into a market or moving forward, that's really what that's planned to be.
I was going to say, some of those workers out there probably won't be there for very long. They just maybe need a short-term rental, or a year or 6 months or a year and a half, that kind of thing. Is that what the focus is here?
Absolutely. So when you look at a lot of major tech companies across the world, that's what they attract near them, is to provide for that transient workforce.
Retail, restaurants, these sorts of things?
Absolutely. So globally recognized retail and restaurants, grocery stores, others in that particular area.
What kind of timeline are we talking about here?
So they should start their infrastructure construction about summer, and infrastructure is about a year long. So we'll see vertical construction start on the first of the industrial and retail buildings in early 2026. This is the whole park, being 3,500 acres, is planned to be about a 25-year build-out.
How much does all of this cost the city of Phoenix?
You know, the interesting thing is this is an area that was planned for sale residential, no jobs. And when we attracted TSMC, we kind of changed our focus into a science and tech park in this area. Our advantage is that what the development in themselves are building all the infrastructure and putting all of the buildings up at their cost. What the city's planning to do is the sales tax that they create, sharing part of it back to build the public infrastructure, 43rd Avenue, 51st Avenue, the construction of Dove Valley, off-ramps on the freeway, those type of things.
So in terms of a return on investment, what are you seeing here? How does the equation work? You've kind of just explained it a little bit, but is there more to it?
So when we look at this area for return on investment, we are more than 35 to 1 on our return on investment. And we expect at ultimate build-out about 62,000 jobs just in the Halo Vista area. And the 35 to 1's not counting TSMC, which is so astronomical. I don't know if we measure numbers that big.
Yeah. As far as transportation is concerned, anyone on I-17 going past there can see it. They know it's big. You also wonder, holy smokes, what's going to happen when a lot of vehicle? Are you prepared for that?
You know, I think that's why we're really looking at the residential south of the 303 and at the Biscuit Flats area and in Norterra and Deer Valley. The whole idea of our villages is to create an area where people can live and work. They don't have to jump on the 17 or the 51 or the 101. They can work right in those areas. And an ultimate build out, as we planned Halo Vista, that really is the plan.
All right. So again, Halo Vista, we're talking northwest corner of I-17 and the Loop 303. And I mean, shovels should be moving here relatively soon.
People should see things moving very, very shortly.
All right. Chris Mackey, Phoenix Community Economic Development Director. Lots going on. You're on this show an awful lot talking about some pretty big things.
So much going on and so much fun.
Good to have you here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.